Kirsty Williams-Henry used to have a well-paying job in insurance, lots of friends and a partner she loved. But her life changed after she fell around 5 metres from a Welsh pier and suffered brain damage.
I nearly died.
The 33-year-old sued the owner of the pier, Associated British Ports, for £2.3 million. But the judge branded her a liar who was leading a more active life than she'd claimed.
Everything in that ruling was wrong.
The judge said he would have awarded her almost £600,000 if she had not exaggerated her injuries and lied about her lifestyle.
Spa trips, attendance to weddings, hen nights, rock and pop concerts and pub crawls. Could you have been more open about that in your evidence to the court?
No.
Kirsty has been so devastated since the judgment went public that she has struggled to leave the house.
If you Google my name, I'm called a fraud and a liar and everything for pages and pages.
Now she has spoken to Wales Online to tell her side of the story, including being surveilled for months by private investigators.
Everywhere I went, they followed me. Shoot me dead. I was 30 and I went to one of my best friend's hen parties. Oh my God. That verdict means that if you have a brain injury, unless you are bedbound, doing nothing with your life at all, you're not going to be believed.
Kirsty, can you tell me what life was like before the accident?
Now I realise how good I had it. I'd gone through college, university, I had a job that I really loved, that I know it sounds ego, but I was very respected in what I did. I was earning enough money that I was going on holiday 4 or 5 times a year, travelling different countries, and I had amazing loads of groups of friends that were awesome, and I had someone who I only recently started seeing, but I thought it was going to last forever. But
and you were working for Admiral?
Yeah, I was a senior technical business analyst.
And the judge found you were on course to earn between $77,000 and $110,000 a year?
Yeah. By the time I had to give up work, I was on £60,000, I think it was, 60,000. But if I hadn't had the accident, I would have been on that money already.
Kirsty says she doesn't remember what happened on the fateful day of July the 21st, 2018, but she has pieced together events from her family's recollections.
It was my family wanted it. It was the bioluminescence, was everywhere, and it was saying it was once in a lifetime. So my family wanted to go see it down on Aberafan Beach, and Aberafan Beach has a breakwater pier that, as far as I was aware, and everyone else thought it was public, and they said that when I was walking back from the end of the pier, my cousin said that I tripped on something and then went off the side, and where I went off the side, it's a 20-foot dead drop onto rocks, and the tide was out, so I landed on those rocks and I suffered real severe fracture to the back of my brain.
Kirsty suffered fractures to her skull and substantial damage to her frontal and temporal brain lobes, which she says has completely changed her life.
I got to be prompted. Someone's got to tell me, Kirsty, have you brushed your teeth? Have you got dressed? The part of my brain that they took is the part that can multitask and learn new things. I can't learn nothing new. I used to be, any new technology that came into work, I was the first one into it. Now I can't learn nothing new. And the fatigue is, you can't think with it.
There were also devastating consequences for Kirsty's relationships with friends and her partner.
Yeah, they all disappeared essentially. Well, he disappeared, but my friend groups, they couldn't deal with me because the overload of stimulation. I get so angry, and they just fell out with me, and they couldn't understand why I was behaving the way I was.
Kirsty sued the owner of the pier, claiming more than £2.3 million in damages. And although the judge noted that she had been drinking on the day of the accident, he did find that safety railings had been removed from the pier years earlier. But the court case also led to the owner of the pier surveilling Kirsty and analysing her social media posts.
Was there a private investigator?
Yes, they had a team of 2 or 3 men who watched me for, I think, about a year. Every day. They followed me to my birthday, and they aren't medical at all, but they were writing, like, in their reports, oh, she seemed happy. Everywhere I went, they followed me. The other side's barristers, the ABP side, he was so mocking, condescending. He made me feel like I was just a council estate scrounger. I had to give all my Facebook, my Instagram, everything. And I give it because, to me, they didn't mean anything.
In a shock to Kirsty and her legal team, the judge dismissed her claim and awarded 0 in damages.
The judge's ruling was that you did suffer genuine injuries, which included a moderately severe brain injury. He ruled that he would have awarded you £596,704 if he hadn't found that you were a liar.
Yeah.
When you found out that you would have received those damages, if not for being, as he perceived, a liar, what was your reaction?
I didn't believe him. Everything in that ruling was wrong.
He used the words breathtakingly dishonest to
Yeah.
describe you and accused you of lying to obtain a low premium for life assurance and lying to the DWP for benefits.
Yeah.
When you heard those words breathtakingly dishonest, how did that make you feel?
I haven't been able to read his judgment because everyone I know, including my doctors who have read it, have said it is one of the most vindictive and vile judgments they have ever seen.
In that moment with your lawyers, when the ruling comes through, what was that like? What was that moment like?
Devastated.
How did they react?
They were devastated. They looked like the world was over. They were devastated, every single one of them.
Well, I thought, the fair thing would be for me to allow you to kind of address each of the various points that he found.
Yeah.
So one of the judge's findings was that you told the DWP you had hypersensitivity to noise and anxiety, but you went to 2 Spice Girls concerts and a Pink concert. Did you feel that was a fair characterisation?
What do you mean a fair characterisation?
When he talks about, when you made a claim that you had hypersensitivity to the DWP and that you were hypersensitive to noise,
Yeah.
and he saw an inconsistency between that and you going to Spice Girls and Pink concerts.
That in itself is, I'm sorry, it's a joke. I nearly died. My family wanted me to come out of my coma. They promised, because the Spice Girls announced it all and it was my childhood thing. They were like, we gotta celebrate your year. What was I supposed to do? Like, yeah, I've still got hypersensitivity. High-pitched noises are horrific to me. Just because I went to concerts with my family because I wanted to be on Kirsty, how can you say, she can't have those problems just because she went to, even though I'd proven that I left the events early because I couldn't cope with it.
I was going to ask about that. So the judge picked up on the fact that you claimed you left the Bristol Spice Girls concert early because of fatigue and noise intolerance.
Yeah.
But your mother wrote a complaint saying the reason you left was not being let back into the Golden Circle after you went to the toilet.
No, that's wrong. That email is wrong. The reason she got me Golden Circle tickets was we thought that it'd be more room, more space in there because we thought, it'd be less people. When we were in there, it was horrendous. There was so many people. It was so tight and I couldn't cope with it.
According to the judge, Kirsty lied by saying she used a wheelchair when she went anywhere outside.
The judge said surveillance videos showed you had the mobility to walk and bend over and carry things.
Yeah. I don't know where that statement is coming from.
This is the judge's word. That you claimed that you used a wheelchair if you, and this is a quote, went anywhere outside with your mum or to hospital appointments.
No, it was airports.
Yeah, once again, he is this is what they did. I have chronic pain in my left leg, I have chronic pain in my hip. So if I'm going somewhere and I know I got to walk a long distance, I do use the, is it accessibility? In the very beginning, my mobility was horrendous. I couldn't even go 2 minutes. But as it has evolved, I have got, through rehab, I can walk now. But it's just...
Well, speaking of mobility, the judge found that you drove a manual car despite claiming you had great difficulty driving manual cars.
Manual cars, because of the pain, the chronic pain in my left ankle, it makes driving manual very painful. It does. And I switched my own car to an automatic because of how painful it made me. My cousin was learning to drive, so I took out the policy because I was the person who drove that car the most while teaching her to drive. It was when I had to take her to college, and it was all local. I never drove further than my local area because that's where I get dangerous, because I get fatigued. And that's the thing, is to the courts, everything is black and white. If you can drive once, then that means you've got no problem driving ever.
Would you say that the finding regarding bowling falls into that category too? Just because the judge said, you said that when you went bowling you did not actually bowl with your arms and used a metal frame, which the judge said was not true. He rejected that evidence.
He rejected all evidence. He rejected...
Do you still maintain that you didn't bowl with your arms?
Yes, it wasn't me. The photo that they brought up in court was my auntie. They brought up this photo and said, you're thinking, and I was like, that's not me.
So you always used a metal frame when you...
When I'm bowling, yeah, because the grip, what it is, I've got a slight weakness on my left side, but it's the grip lasting, that's what the problem is. My entire frontal lobe is gone. Gone. There's a cavity there. That controls your personality, your anger management, your memory, everything. And for them to say that I've got no lasting neuro issues is...
Well, I think that he did say you had a moderately severe...
No, I'm sorry, I'm going to get really angry now, right? He's saying, I agree, she had a moderately severe brain injury. No, it was a severe catastrophic brain injury. It was one of the worst that Morriston Brain Injury Service had seen. They said I had a subarachnoid bleed, which people rarely survive. The fact that I can talk and walk is a miracle.
At no point you deceived either the DWP,
no.
The court.
No. Not once. Everything I had said had been the same from the beginning. How he could ruin my reputation, make it so I can't leave, I don't want to leave my front door because it was just spread everywhere. And there's nothing, I can't do anything to defend myself because the way it's set up.
Well, I think the best way to defend yourself is to address the points which the judge has made, and that's, hopefully this is an opportunity to do that.
With Kirsty becoming upset, her mother stepped in for a moment.
Yeah, but some of the condition she got, she catastrophises, and that is, people say, it can be misattuned as lying, and that's a big thing with brain injury.
Okay, so was that might play into this example,
yeah.
Which is, the judge said you claimed you had a bone spur in your left ankle.
Which is true.
When
we were told that.
You had been told by an expert that you did not have a bone spur.
No, I was told that I did have a bone spur. Morriston ankle bone specialist literally said to me, it looks like you've got bony spurs here and that could be why it's locking. So that is what I had repeated to different doctors because that is what I was told. And then they examined me and, all the orthopaedic doctors, again, I'm sorry, I don't have much respect for them because every single one of them were like, oh no, it's healed, it's fine.
The judge said you told clinicians you had been teetotal since the accident, but you accepted you drank 5 pints watching a Six Nations rugby game and later apologised for misleading the experts. Is that a fair characterisation from the judge?
No, because I don't think I've ever said that I was sober from the moment I had the accident, because the first year out of hospital I was trying to be old Kirsty. I was trying to go out with my friends. Where I had seen those doctor's appointments, I was teetotal, but then afterwards then, I did have I think...
So it sounds like, as the judge puts it, you apologise for misleading the experts.
Yeah.
You're apologising on the basis of mistakenly misleading them, not out of a conscious decision.
Yeah, no, I never would have lied about it, ever. After about a year of trying, I stopped, and I didn't drink for ages. But because it's just because I got a Facebook and I pretend that I got a life, they just think that's it. The social media is a lie. Everything on social media is people trying to put up their best front. And I was 27 when I fell, and I used to travel, I used to go out with work drinking, I used to go out with my friends on weekends, and then suddenly it literally all stopped because I couldn't do anything. So, yeah, I still try to make people think that I'm the same as I was before.
Could you have been more open about the things that you did do, maybe in pursuit to be that person that you were previously, but things like the judge said you didn't disclose to the court that you went on holidays to Benidorm, Cyprus.
Those are lies.
Spa trips, attendance to weddings, hen nights, rock and pop concerts, and pub crawls. Could you have been more open about that in your evidence to the court?
No. Yeah, everyone knew. Like, the holidays that I did go on, shoot me dead. I was 30 and I went to one of my best friend's hen parties. Oh my God. But all of those events, my medical team that were paid for by ABP, they were all working with me to get me to go to these things. And the doctors were around me working, making all my rehab notes. They were documenting how I suffered before and after all these events. Yes, there would have been inconsistencies because as time progressed, I got a better understanding of things. I realised why I was getting so angry with people. I have hot flushes and I'm running at like 30 degrees higher than everyone else all the time. Do you think then that I shouldn't go outside when it's warm? There's nothing like I still want to enjoy life. I still want to do things that my friends and family do. So, surprise, I went on a holiday. But that doesn't mean that I didn't struggle and suffer the entire time.
In terms of your finances now, how much of a struggle is it to get by?
I am unemployed for the first time in my life. I cannot pay my own bills. My mother has had to sell her house to try and support us both. The money would have been the difference between me giving up and just going to an early grave or actually being able to make something of myself. I got a home that's unsafe. I need adaptations. I have bills that I obviously had built up with the career that I used to have and now I don't. And my mother has lost a job that she loved because of this verdict, and she is a world-class nurse. In the judgment, he named my mother and said, she was a liar and she'd helped me lie and all this. So St. John's Ambulance suspended her, and she decided from there, if you're not going to support me when that's all I've done is support my daughter, then I quit.
Kirsty says the judgment has not affected the disability benefits she gets from the DWP, and she is still receiving free rehab from a private medical firm that continues to trust her honesty. But she sees no hope of an appeal against the judge's ruling.
There is no way of us appealing. He has just destroyed any hope I had of potentially making a life for myself now. There's no hope, because who's going to even employ me now when I've got all of these health conditions, which means I can't keep up. But also, if you Google my name, I'm called a fraud and a liar and everything for pages and pages. We
were speaking previously about your sadness that you feel like the brain injury community will suffer as a result of this judgment. Can you talk about that?
It's already suffering because of it. Because, sorry. Sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine. Take the time you need.
it took me so long to accept that I had problems. Everyone around me was so happy that I could function, that I could talk, everything. I pushed myself to try and live the life that I had before. That verdict means that if you have a brain injury, unless you are bedbound, doing nothing with your life at all, you're not going to be believed. There was nothing in my social media that should have affected that case. Nothing. There'd be a page where I'm smiling with my friends, and then the next day there would be a post that is about 40 paragraphs long where I say, I want to die, I don't want to be here. But those posts weren't taken into account at all. And that is what is now going to affect all of the other brain injury people who are going to bring valid claims. All of them now are going to suffer because of this.